All right, here we are with another episode of Wrestling Ropes, our weekly podcast. And we got somebody back that is most likely here to stay, and that's your boy, Mox.
Yeah. What's up, audience? How you doing? It's Moss, baby. We're here. We're ready. We're ready to talk about some wrestling.
We're back, and we hope to be back every week. There's so much to talk about. Not like last week, though. Last week was mainly about the main event. But between Smackdown, Raw, NXT, and now AEW, there's different topics here, right?
We got a lot to talk about, brother. We got a lot to talk about. It's been a
Yeah,
great week for wrestling.
yeah. Uh, I guess we can start with SmackDown, how it went down last week, and what the biggest thing about SmackDown last week was the way that it just abruptly just went off the air. You notice that?
Yeah. So these guys were cooking. We got this great promo. We got this great going back and forth with The Rock and Roman and Seth and Cody. I think they were gonna do more, and they lost the time. That's what it seems like.
Yeah, that's what I was reading. Supposedly, it was gonna be a segment that they were gonna brawl, and the security was gonna hold them back, and that's what I thought. Because the whole night they were teasing the security by the door, and the next thing you know, they didn't know where Cody and Seth went. So I'm thinking, okay, they're gonna brawl here. Something's gonna go down. And next thing you know, it's like what? I think it was like a 10 minutes of talk, maybe. And there's a video from the other side where you see the producer, whoever by the ring, telling The Rock, wrap it up, wrap it up. And
Yeah,
then you see a snap, and he's done. And I'm like, Fox, I'm sorry, but you a bitch. Like, what? Why you cutting this? Like, USA doesn't do that. They let it run.
yeah. I mean, we need to see that content. I think they probably. Yeah, I mean, I would love to see The Rock take it and spin it and be like, "I'm The Rock. You can't cut my time." Like, I would love to see him you know what I mean. Like, they see everything. I feel like the wrestling people talk about on Twitter. So, I feel like that'd be cool if they throw that into it.
Even though I'm criticizing Fox for being the way that it is and cutting it that way, I'm gonna put most of the blame on WWE. If they knew this segment, no, they obviously know this segment is gonna be longer than they expect because The Rock is going to do whatever he wants. They should have handled time better if they know how Fox has been doing business with them for now what? How many years? I forgot. It's been a while now. So they know who they're dealing with. So why will they do this that way?
Yeah, man. I don't know. I think that they're gonna be able to make up for it throughout this process for the road to WrestleMania. I think they're gonna make sure that they figure out how to tell the story. Even as something as simple as The Rock going on Twitter and posting like a 20-minute promo. Like, they're trying to find ways to get the entire story into before WrestleMania. So I gotta at least acknowledge that. I'm not acknowledging Roman yet. We'll wait. We'll wait. But I think that they should dig into that while they can.
Yeah, and the only thing that this little story here is missing is that they every time that I'm watching Raw and I see that Cody's out there, I feel like The Rock and Roman are going to run in and beat the hell out of Cody or something like that. But it doesn't happen. What you do see is the bloodline coming into Raw to interfere and do things like they did with Cody one time, they did with Jay the other night, things like that. But I want to see entire bloodline show up on Raw,
Mhm.
and that hasn't happened. I don't know why. I mean, we're going into WrestleMania. It's time to like pick
Amp
it
it
up
up.
a little bit,
It's time to crank it up. Let's go.
you know.
No, but I
So
think see that. We will see that. So we are tomorrow is SmackDown. We are about what 3 weeks away from WrestleMania, 21 days.
yeah,
So I'm assuming with Friday, this SmackDown coming Friday, um, we have Raw coming up on Monday. I'm totally guessing that within this 3 week period of like, what's that? We got 6 shows until WrestleMania. They'll be able to make sure that we get enough of that like energy. But I hope so. So we're hoping for
yeah. They should pick it up a little bit because it's just promo and promo and promo. I want to see a little bit of brawling here and there as well, but maybe they just want to save it for the match because they're gonna have the tag team match and then they're gonna have the main event. Maybe that's why, but I guess they had the intention on SmackDown. It just didn't
it.
develop.
Mhm.
And speaking of SmackDown, there's something that I've been noticing now for 2 weeks. There is no LA Knight coming out. There is no AJ Style coming out, and LA Knight is just looking for AJ, but nothing happens. And they're gonna have a match at WrestleMania, what it seems like. But we literally saw that match about 3 or 4 weeks ago when LA beat AJ Styles to go to the Elimination Chamber. I mean, how you feeling about this?
Yeah, so we could definitely dive into LA Knight, man. So first off, this guy is absolutely killing it. I love, everything he's done. It's just I think that, in WrestleMania season, it looks like now there's so many, we'll call it level A players right now. And it's just, I think he had his momentum going really hard into everything, into the Rumble. We saw last year with well, I guess that was technically 2023, but, we saw him win the, that Battle Royal, that Slim Jim Battle Royal. That was, for some reason, like, it was just a Battle Royal, but we all were like, yo, he's having his moment. Like, let's go, because we thought it was going to be Money in the Bank, and it wasn't. And then he had the Battle Royal. So, I think we all thought he was going to fight for the U.S. title and fight Logan, and that didn't happen, and they're throwing Randy in there. I think, Randy's still an A player. They're going to have him somewhere in the mix, and, him with the Chamber story, that made sense. LA Knight and AJ Styles, back to that, they already had a story going into this, so I can see why they would, give Randy the moment for him, and maybe they'll give Randy a U.S. title reign and beat Logan. I don't know. But, with the brass knuckles story, you got KO involved in that. So they have that angle. It makes sense. So for AJ Styles and LA Knight, maybe just have a grudge match. Maybe they steal WrestleMania. They have that match at WrestleMania. They have that intense grudge match. And people are going to be like, wow, that was match of the night. Like, that would be sick. So I think they haven't forgot about the gravy train, as he says. But I think, there's just too many A1 players right now that they're trying to, get across to WrestleMania, that he's not getting the moment that he definitely deserves. But I guarantee you this time next year, WrestleMania, he will be super involved in that. But, they're going to give him his Mania match, and I think it's going to be AJ Styles.
Yeah, I mean, even Randy Orton has taken a backseat because of everything that's going on. Like, there's so much going on this year in WrestleMania that you have stars like Randy that came back a few months ago with CM Punk the same night, and even him is taking a backseat to everything else. And now you have LA Knight that was coming in hot as well, and they're like, nope, that this is not your year yet. Like, not a WrestleMania at least to go all the way. And a little bit of me when I was looking at the Elimination Chamber, I thought that it was gonna be like an 8-man ladder match for the U.S. title, and that was going to include LA Knight, and he will probably win it. And then after that, like people like Randy will go on to do other things, maybe feud with Cody or something like something in that of that caliber, you know. But I guess they might actually put the title on Randy. I mean, I don't see Randy losing at WrestleMania. He's been back now for a while. Maybe they want to give him something, or they're gonna hold it off so he can get that additional championship that he wants to get.
Yeah, I mean, I think there's a lot of things he could do with Randy. I think, Randy's capable of, putting anyone over or, working well with anyone. So, I think that him coming back, he is still trying to not find his rhythm, but you can tell, like, when he goes out there that he's like taking this all in like really hard now. Like he's taking it in as like, wow, like, I've been doing this for a while. I'm coming back. The people still love me. And you could tell, like I remember back in Smackdown a few months ago. This is like a little bit around near where his return was, a little bit post Survivor Series. He like tapped the pole and he just like kind of had a moment where he was like, yo, like I'm taking this all in. So I think he's adapting now, realizing like the company has moved forward to have their A1 players that are part of the main event story. But it's a matter of time after WrestleMania season until he gets thrown back into all this story. I just don't think that they can, turn him heel at all. I think him being the baby face guy that's loved for a while is what he loves right now, and I think it makes sense. But if he were to turn heel, I think that would be awesome, and he could maybe feud with Cody and do all that stuff. But Cody's got his own story with Roman, so I like that Randy's getting his own time right now. Logan Paul's still doing well, so we still see him, doing well. So I think him feuding with Randy just makes sense. And yeah, let AJ Styles and LA Knight have this intense feud, make it like a last man standing match, let them beat the hell out of each other. I'd love to see that.
Yes, if it's a match of that caliber that way, then yes, that's something that I'm interested on. But just a regular match
No.
at WrestleMania, I'm not really looking forward to that. Like, give me something else because these two guys look like they want to beat the living hell out of each other.
Yeah.
You have LA Knight, he costed him the elimination chamber, and now AJ Styles with his thing that LA Knight, he did this, he did that. Like they have this little thing going on. Like, oh no, I want to beat the living hell out of you. No, I want to beat the living hell out of you. Well, that's not gonna happen just at a regular match. And the fact that LA Knight is walking around with the chair, are they gonna do like a chair match or TLC or like you said, last man standing? That could work for sure.
Yeah, give me a match of that caliber. I agree.
Moving on from that topic, though, something that we have not been giving too much love, and that is Bailey versus Io Sky at WrestleMania. And I was glad that Bailey won the Rumble and that I'm assuming she's going over. She's going to get it because, to tell you the truth, Io has been a very forgettable champion. Am I wrong for that?
I think that damage control in the group settings, sometimes things get lost. Io is a phenomenal wrestler. Like just watching her matches are great. But I wish we could see her wrestle more. I guess maybe so it would feel like she's been like the reign would be more. It's kind of like how people feel about obviously Roman not wrestling as much. It's kind of how people feel like that. But Io's always there on TV. She just doesn't wrestle that many matches. But when you have a group that powerful and you're doing stuff, it's kind of like the Bloodline. It's like you have a group, that's behind you. It's like you're not forced to like go out there and defend all the time because you're protected. When she has a group and she's protected, so
I like the group as a whole. The only thing is, like you said, Roman is not out there every week, right? But sometimes I feel when Roman goes out there and gives you a promo, it feels like he gave you something. And of course, Io Sky she can wrestle. I can give you that. But then I don't feel like on a weekly basis she's giving me anything. Like, of course, I'm pretty sure at WrestleMania they're gonna put a banger, and I'll be like, oh yes, that was really good. But between the time that she won the championship to now, it's like, what is she giving me weekly aside from the pay-per-view matches? You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So I hope that match at WrestleMania is not forgotten. That is actually we get some highlights from it instead of being some people feel it like a bathroom break. Like I don't see it as a bathroom break, but I hope once it's over, it doesn't
Oh
feel
no.
like it is. You know?
Hell no. That was great. I know the match. Don't ever about the bathroom break. But I will say that they definitely, like I said, there's so much going on and it's so exciting. So it's like obviously things get lost in translation, you know. But she deserves to have her moment. So I cannot wait to see this.
I think I'm speaking like a spoiled brat because we have so much good stuff going on this year for the first time in a while that maybe we're taking somebody like Sky for granted.
Yeah, for sure. It happens. I think we all see wrestling is as great as it's ever been right now. So I can't wait to see, how the matches turn out. But yeah, things get lost in translation. So, these guys got to take these moments and grab it by the throat. And I can't wait to see them, hopefully shoot for the stars. I know for a fact that anyone who's not in the main event is going to want to have a great match. So,
Yeah, and actually, this last SmackDown, they didn't even get to come out to the ring. What they got was recorded segments, and I feel like they need to beat the living hell out of Bailey. Like all of them, just beat her up, put her through a table, and work on an injury angle. Like her foot is messed up, her arm is messed up. Like make her look like there is no way she's winning this title, and she wins it.
mm-hmm.
Yeah, but right now it's just the odds against her is that she got 4 people against her, and she got the whole emotional thing going on where, oh, I can't believe I got betrayed twice. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah. I think that she can overcome all the odds and win the title at Mania for sure. I do think that's what's going to happen, but we'll have to see if she ends up finding someone that could help her. I would love if they threw. I don't like when people throw them there and make it about them, but I would love for them to throw say Naomi into the story as someone that's vouching for Bailey. Because remember how we saw on SmackDown and Bianca and Naomi had that scene where they were talking about how Bianca was like, I don't feel bad for her, she did it to herself, and then you had Naomi who was like, no, like girls going through it, like I've had my girls betray me, like that happened before. So I would love for them to see Naomi throw in and help her, and whatever she needs to do to make sure she can get the title out of the hands of Damage Control.
That's true. Yeah, that I remember that segment.
Or is it? People were giving Naomi a lot of the match with Tiffany Stratton, and I didn't like that because Tiffany Stratton, as much as she's an A1 player that we've seen and come into the thing and be hot, they only didn't have that much time because The Rock went over, so Naomi didn't have a chance to really show much, I feel, and she is a great competitor, so I feel like throwing Naomi in the story would to help be Bailey's sidekick in the moment could help her get her shine too, because Naomi's an A1 player, but she hasn't got her moment, and people were bashing her on Twitter for a while.
No, it was a short match, and they took time. They took time for Damage Control as well. So I mean, it is what it is. I mean, it's not enough time. Gotta give them some more time, and Not only did they tease Naomi and Bianca, I believe the week before they also teased Jay Cargo with Neo Sky there. So maybe we got a little small.
Yeah, we're gonna get while we got WrestleMania. That's right.
Yeah, like when is this woman gonna wrestle? Oh man, I'm still
I'll
waiting.
take time, but I would love to see her. But I mean, it is a lot to debut at Mania, so I don't know if that's what they're trying to do.
But I'm still wondering what is holding Jay Cargo from being on the roster actively wrestling if somebody like Maxine Dupree is out there.
I think they're looking story for her the same way that we all get lost in like the bloodline and the Cody story and all that. They also lose sight of that. So I think with the Bailey and Io Sky, that's a main story going on. Becky Lynch, Rhea Ripley, Nia Jax, Liv Morgan. That's a major story. So it's like they want Jay Cargo, I think, to feud with a major star, but the major stars have their feuds already, if that makes sense.
That makes a lot of sense what you're saying, and I can see why that could be a reason. I guess they don't want her to get lost in the mix again. Even from the women's division, we are getting spoiled. It hasn't been like this in a minute.
Yeah, man.
And then we move on to Raw. What was your biggest takeaway from Raw?
Man, oh man. I guess the first thing I want to say is Chad Gable, you are a superstar, sir. You are a legend, sir. Match of the night, without a shadow of a doubt. I think we, as all the wrestling community on Twitter, is shocked that he did not win. With the story with Gunther, there is a story there to be told. Gunther made his kid cry. Why do we not see Gable get his revenge at WrestleMania, whether he wins or loses? Don't know why we're not seeing that.
I was invested in Gable that time that he main evented Raw and lost to Gunther. And at that point, the way that he looked to me was like they were like building this guy up, and he looked like a legit good guy that could overcome the odds. He lost that day, and I was like, damn it. Okay, well, from here he can only go up, right? Well, no. After that, I he was losing to people that I was like, why? Like, we I thought you guys were trying to build up this guy, even though he lost to Gunter, and he's gonna get an opportunity later. Why? I feel like WWE killed the momentum that he had going. That they could have capitalized and like keep making him like, if he was gonna lose, not lose clean, and it was just not the same as the build up to Gunter. And that was like, I think that was September of last year. And here we are in March, and we're supposed to believe that he was about to beat Sami and go to WrestleMania. I still believe it should be a triple threat match, though. Even though I don't like how they went with the direction with Chad Gables, I still believe that it should be a triple threat, not just Sami and Gunther. It should be a little more than just Sami and Gunther. Like, Sami is a cool guy, but I don't know if maybe that's the guy that might want to dethrone Gunther after 600.
Well, this is the thing. Gunther has made and established that Intercontinental title to be a real world championship. He really has cemented that to make that have some serious legitimacy that it hasn't had for a while. So that guy is really doing his thing. But I think we all agree, first off, Sammy's been Intercontinental champion. So we all thought, that Sammy was world championship material. So we thought that he was going to go for the world heavyweight title. So, like, basically, Chad Gable hasn't won a single championship yet. So we all were invested in, like, yo, he's going to be the one to dethrone Gunther. This guy wrestles as good as Kurt Angle. Like, you know, and he hasn't had his moment. So it's like, I'm shocked that they didn't go that route, because we all thought the world, Sami Zayn, you know, obviously, you know, in the Bloodline story and Cody and Seth and Drew and all that stuff, he can get lost in that picture, but he is world championship material. So I just don't understand why, you know, I think they realized that. So they're like, you know what? Well, we'll give you a chance to maybe dethrone Gunther. I don't know if he wins that match or not, but they gave him the chance to do that. But he's already won the IC title, so it's like he doesn't need this, you know, like build up story to do that. You know what I mean? Like, I think he can win the World Heavyweight Championship one day. It might not be now, but, you know, I guess they don't want to, you know, completely bury him, so they want to make sure he gets his, you know, title match at Mania. But you know, Sami Zayn is unbelievable. So it just, you know, we thought it was Chad Gable's moment, and they shifted it to Sami to make sure that he has a moment. But, you know, now what do we do with Chad Gable? So I don't know what they do with Chad Gable.
What happened to Sami not getting the World Heavyweight Championship opportunity? I think is the cause and effect of that is too much talent. You got Drew doing things that we love. Then you have Seth Rollins that is a champion, so that's what you're gonna get. Do you really want to throw Sami Zayn in there as a triple threat match? Does he fit in there with Drew and Seth right now? I mean, in a part of it, maybe because he was part of the bloodline. So you got Drew talking about the bloodline, you got Seth talking about it, you got Seth involved with Cody in the bloodline. Maybe, but I think everything is just a whole issue with having too much going on, so much talent, so much good things going on, that everybody's gonna be a waterfall effect. That something is gonna happen where now Sami's saying they're not gonna put him in the world title match, so now he gets Gunther. Now Chad Gable's up and coming. It's like, hey, what about me? Well, I guess not. I still think though that match definitely should be a triple threat. Don't you feel it should at least be a triple threat?
I I think that Sami Zayn isn't exactly directly involved in this Drew Seth story, really. But, you know, Drew and Sami have had their history. They've all had their history. So it does kind of make sense. I think they could have wrote that in there for sure, but I have no idea why Sammy's going for the IC title when he's world championship material. This should totally be Chad Gable going and getting his moment, because that's usually how it runs, you know, in the WWE. You know, a lot of these guys, you know, when they're first starting out, it's like, okay, you know, when they, like, for instance, 2015, when the Shield came in, you know, Seth had, you know, an IC run and a US title run first before he won the world championship. So do that with Chad Gable. Give him the IC title. Even if he really didn't even win it at Mania, he still would have been like, I was this close to getting my vengeance, and then keep writing it in, whatever. But yeah, this was Chad Gable's moment. So I think they definitely passed on this one. But I think, you know, maybe they just, you know, in the loss of writing the main story, they were like, well, Sammy's still a caliber. Like, maybe we'll let him dethrone Gunther, and, you know, it made sense. But, you know, I don't know what they do with Chad Gable now. So I'm really hurt for Chad Gable.
They have to add him to the match. It's just, I think this is going to affect. It's gonna hurt Sami Zayn, because I think some people, you know, you including you, were believing in Chad, and I was believing in Chad months ago. Not now, but putting Sami Zayn in there just because he couldn't get into the world heavyweight, it was just a little bit random. But again, Sami Zayn, I think, has suffered in popularity since last year. If you go back to last year Elimination Chamber, I think he peaked when he was in that match with Roman. And then right after that, WrestleMania, the main event, yes. But once that was done, Sammy was like directionless.
Yeah, I mean, they all, Roman faced a lot of people in the Bloodline story. So, KO, Sami Zayn, there's just a lot of people that were like involved or faced him during that time. So, now that Cody's, they all know that Cody and him is the biggest story. So it's, we'd love to see if it's like Superman and, all his people are running out for him at WrestleMania, because that's what I think. The Bloodline's gonna run out and do shit, or Bloodline. I think the Bloodline's gonna run out and do stuff. And then I think Cody's hopefully gonna have his Avenger team coming to save him. Hopefully that would be sick if all the people who were originally hurt in the story with the Bloodline come out to help him. Sami Zayn, KO, Orton. We would love to see that. So if all that happens from this, I think I'll be cool with, whatever the outcome is. But as far as, the IC title and Chad Gable, yeah, I would love to see them add to the match. I actually saw on Twitter today that I think Sami Zayn had actually seen some of the backlash that people were getting from the match outcome on Twitter. And he was definitely like a little bit hurt about it. And I had saw that. And, I feel bad seeing that, because it's like, Sammy's a great guy and he deserves to have his moment. And he knows that he was just thrown in a bad situation and, he's getting the backlash for it. But, maybe Sammy beats Gunther at Mania and then the first one to get the title shot is Chad Gable. If they can do that, I'd be okay with that, because that's the only way that we'll really get it. But it's sad that Chad Gable might not be at Mania at all. The real thing is to add him to the match, and I want Chad Gable to beat Gunther. That would be it, because there's a story there. He made the kid cry. He went on the interview. He cut the promo and said, "Yo, you made my kid cry. It means more." And this is what he said. Hashtag it just means more. He literally said it. It just means more. He made his kid cry. There's a story there. Let Sammy finally win the world championship and finish his story down the road, and then let Sammy have his moment to go chase the world title. Because if Drew beats Seth, which I think is gonna happen, then the first person that should try to fight Drew would be Sami Zayn. There's a story there, World Heavyweight Championship. So you know what? I think if Sami is gonna get the IC title, let Gunther beat him at Mania, or let him win the title and let Chad Gable beat him, and then let Sami Zayn finish his story later. And that's the only thing that they can do to make this right.
Let me ask you this question. Let's say Sammy pins Gunther, wins the title. How much do you think that elevates him versus Chad Gable, that has never gotten a title before, pins Gunther? Which of the two, Sammy and Gable, which one you think is going to win the most out of it by winning the title? Because if Sammy already had it, like, how much can winning that title again, even if Gunther has had it for 600 days plus, do you think it's the same value versus Chad Gable winning it?
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. Chad Gable, if he could beat, Gunther, that would cement him as the next A1 player. Because if Gunther loses that title, I guess that maybe they don't know what they do with him yet. So maybe that's why they didn't want to do that. They were just like, well, if Chad Gable loses to him at Mania, that's going to make him look real bad. So I think that they just didn't know. They don't know what to do with Gunther yet. And they're just letting him keep this reign. So they figured if Sammy fights him at Mania, that could give Sammy, because the whole story with Sammy is he was trying to find his way to Mania. That's all that they were saying. So, he found his way to Mania. Now how does Chad Gable get back?
I believe, though, that the way that it should work out is Chad Gable pins Gunter after they have a triple threat match. Sammy's still disappointed. Now Gunter is like, oh, I lost my title. What am I doing now? And from there, maybe Gunter and Chad feud a little bit longer. Gunter doesn't win it again. And then eventually he moves on to the World Heavyweight Championship and Sammy as well, trying to chase Drew or Seth, whichever of the two. Because that way here, all the pieces, they move forward. If Chad wins, he moves forward. Gunter loses is fine. He already been champion for 600 days plus. So he's gonna keep moving forward. And Sammy, I guess he's just playing the same character that he's been playing now for like how long? Trying to chase the big one and not getting it. I mean, he's gotten title shots and he's made event to WrestleMania, etc. And he's like he has his fans, but I don't think like Sammy winning this title gives him any additional value. Like he's not a super like big star, but he's not a mid Carter jobber either. Like he can give me some good times. We saw that with the bloodline. He can give us good times. I feel like when he just go by himself with not nobody surrounding him, then he just come his work is not the best. But when he has some good people around him, that we get the real, at least the most entertaining version of Sammy. So that's why I'm saying he doesn't need to win that title. He like I don't think it's gonna make him any bigger than what he is. The thing that he hasn't had.
Star. He doesn't need the title. The world title is something that's a goal of his, and I deserves. He should think he should win a world title. For sure. I don't know how soon that will be, but I just think he doesn't need the Intercontinental title to like prove anything. He already won it.
Yeah, like I said, like if Gunther loses it, I don't see Gunther any smaller than what he is currently. Like he's established. Like if they want to put Gunther in a program with Drew, I have no opposition to that. The man already he went 600 days. Like what's next? The world title, obviously. So if he wants to feud a little more with Chad Gable after he loses it, great. But if I see Gunther retaining against Chad Gable, I'll be like, come on, man. Like, it's time. If he retains against Sammy, no problem. I'll be like, but that might hurt Sammy more a little bit, I guess, because you got all the way here. You already couldn't get the WWE Championship for Roman for obvious reasons, and now you're losing for the IC title. I think if Sami Zayn loses, it hurts him more than winning it. Winning it gives him like just a little bit of value. But if he loses, it makes it seem like you couldn't
That's
even
what I'm
win
saying.
that.
They don't need to, like, as I'm saying, we don't need to like bury him either. So it's like if he loses, it's like he got the Mania, then loses. It's like
That's why you gotta be a triple threat. You gotta put Chad Gables, Chad pins Gunther. Sami Zayn was, I don't know, knocked out somewhere, so he
yeah,
wasn't involved in the decision. That way, he got to WrestleMania. He had a program. He didn't lose, and after that, he can just move on finally to maybe have a program with Drew and Seth, and they can have a triple threat later on. And now you have those guys actually doing something together. But like Sami in this situation, I think it's actually gonna hurt him because now you have fans that don't like it. If he wins it, it doesn't give him as much value, at least in my eyes. But who am I? I am nobody. I'm just talking about me. And if he loses it, then wow, that really look like, man, why are you here? That's just this topic can go on and on, but I think it is we just beating the horse here. It's like we'll see how this develops. They got 3 weeks. I'm just assuming it's gonna be a triple threat, but we can move on to the next topic now.
Yeah, man, I'm super excited to see if they can, rewrite that and, get Chad Gable his moment. But we'll see what happens. We got a little bit more time before Mania, and Triple H knows what everyone is usually saying. So I think he'll figure out what to do with Chad Gable. I think they probably want him at Mania now at least. So Alpha Academy isn't like a 2-man tag team, normal tag team. They have like four people, including a deep one. I don't know if they call the do they call them divas still, or they still what one?
No, superstars.
Superstars, yeah. The one superstar, we got Maxine Dupree, and then we got Otis, and then we got Tozawa. So they're not like exactly a 2-man tag team. So I see why they wouldn't put them in the tag team match. But yeah, I don't. Gunther has the story, and he's talking about how it means more. I don't want Chad Gable to not get his get back now. So I just don't know what they do.
Yeah. So we'll see how it develops. The next topic on Raw, though, I'm pretty sure you wanted to talk about this, and it's the Maxine Dupree segment with Candice LeRae.
Oh boy.
I mean, when you, for those that maybe don't know, in case you didn't watch Raw, uh, there's a match. It's a tag team match. It's a women's tag team match, and you have Maxine Dupree about to do the reverse. What is the move called? The reverse caterpillar, and Candice LeRae gets in front of her. You shouldn't. You're not gonna use that move and all that good stuff. And then she mentions Maxine Dupree dead brother, which is a real thing. Her brother did die, and she's just basically telling her, "Hey, at least your brother is not here. He's dead, so he doesn't need to see you embarrassing yourself." And I'm paraphrasing here, but basically along those lines. And the internet lost it. I've been on Twitter, well, not Twitter, X, saying all the emotions from people, how they feel about it, and it's very split. Some people are like, "Oh, why she did that," and other people are like, "Look, they're making everything a part of the story. They took all the booze that Maxine got at a house show. They're taking um, supposedly the women in the backstage. You have no idea how we see you." And they're adding all these elements that I think are great. So it's a mixture of scripted elements here plus real life of what's happening, plus adding something very tragic in her life to it. And let's be honest, who the hell was Candice LeRae before this segment? Right?
Well,
Right?
the thing is, like, there's certain people on NXT that are like absolutely cooking, and I know on NXT they have their own moments where they cook. They threw them on Raw, and then this whole thing happened. But I just didn't. I don't think anyone would really expect the intensity of bringing something like that to life. And yeah, it's exciting to see an intense heel turn like that. So, let's see if she can pull a Drew McIntyre and really get us invested and be like, hey, this girl really said that. That's crazy. And then we'll see what happens.
I was looking at the screen and I was like, she had it in her all this time? Because to me, Candice LeRae was just this nice little girl, and then all of a sudden, boom. And I'm like, there we go. So now people are gonna be talking about this segment right here because so that one line that she used. If she hadn't used that line, nobody will give a damn about Candice. But she went very edgy, too edgy for some people. For me, I don't care. I mean, I'm assuming here that Maxine obviously signed off. And some people are gonna say, "Oh, she only signed off because it's her job." Uh, I don't know. I think right now, after everything that has happened with the allegations, I believe WWE will be. They're walking on eggshells with women backstage. So if she doesn't want to do it, they'll be okay. And I don't see Triple H being the type of guy either, especially at this point in his career. And I really believe that Maxine Dupree was okay with this. She wanted to run with the storyline. They wanted to run with the storylines with when they boo her at the house show. That's great. I think this ad this makes this very interesting, and at the same time it makes Candice LeRae pop out a little bit. Let's see though how she can come back on next week, because from there, where can she go? What can she do that is gonna keep that level of bad girl that she is now?
Of heat,
Eh,
yeah,
ha-
yeah, he does. So we'll see if if it sticks. But yeah, I mean, that's something intense to say. So we'll see if she can keep the heat. I think she can keep the heat if she can just lock in. I just don't know if they're gonna throw her on Raw like that. But give her a mic. Give her a mic. Give her a chance. Let her go out on Raw on TV. Call out Maxine Dupree. Sorry. And say what she's saying with her chest. Give me that TV.
yeah.
Wow, I thought of that.
Hey, let's see how she go how it goes.
I don't know if they're gonna give her that moment because, like I said, NXT she's on most of the time, and then they've had her on Raw a little bit. So yeah, we'll just see if they can throw her the wolves and let her go out there and cook. Because if they could just give someone a mic and give them a chance, like imagine Candice LeRae's theme song hits, she goes out on Raw this Monday, like they give her like 3 or 4 minutes. Attention, attention. Can everyone hear me? Listen, you're gonna listen now. Let her go out and like say Maxine Dupree, whatever. Like that would really give her a chance to elevate this and turn this into a story. We all couldn't even really hear what she was saying unless you sit there and watch the video and you say, "Oh, this is what she said," and then people will talk about it. But like on the mic, imagine saying something like that on the mic. That would give her serious heat. So they need to give her a mic and let her like reconfirm what she said, and then that's going to be some serious heat.
And I would have no problem if she opened Monday Night Raw.
We would
I
all
think
be surprised.
it will be different. I think if she should open Monday Night Raw, because I think that was like the biggest thing that happened Monday. I know that we had Cody's segment on Monday, and it was an emotional segment for Cody. You caught that, huh?
Yeah, man. Cody really, yeah, his heart was out there.
Yeah, and obviously you go on Twitter and people are like, "Oh, this guy's always crying." I'm like, dude, he loves his dad. He loves his dad, and that's how he feels. Like, how can you even question that? Like, that's just how he feels. He wanted to be a champion while his dad was there. Obviously, that didn't happen.
We
So
want to
now
see it, and we all want to see it.
we want to see it. We want to see him winning it, and he wants to win it and give that title to his mother. He loves his parents. He loves his family.
Mm-hmm.
So you can't knock the man for that. He didn't even he wasn't even like crying like with tears. He was choked up and he held it back. And people still want to shit on that. Like,
Mm-hmm.
come on, man. Like, even if you don't have the best relationship with your parents or your family, you still have to understand. Like, if somebody else feels that way, hey, it's all good. Especially, it's all part of the show. He adds another element to it, another layer that probably was not scripted to be there. So the only the only part that I was like when he said that he only has his mom left, I'm assuming he meant parents, not family, because I was like, and your brother?
Oh yeah, no, I mean he definitely means. I mean, yeah, he's went through it, man. So we all want to see him win, and it's gonna happen hopefully. So Yeah, and he's writing the story, man. He's writing the story. I love the emotion. I guess now we gotta make fun of it. I can call myself a Cody crybaby. I I think he deserves it, man. And he's the first universal guy that everyone likes. He's the first baby face, first hero, first Superman that we all undeniably love. And we don't have anything to say. Remember, Cena's had his era until he was even booed. We're not going to boot Cody ever.
No, but you know why that is? Because even though he's like this huge good guy, he hasn't won anything. He's not winning everything. He's winning matches.
Well, dude, he's only lost 2 matches too, so I will say that's awesome.
Yeah, but he hasn't won the big one yet. So we like that type of good guy. So they say, oh, he's the second coming of Cena. No, Cena was winning all the time. The 1 minute that Cena got on the main event, Cena was just holding that title endlessly. Even if he lost it, he will get it back. I remember one time that Rey Mysterio won the title on Raw, and then Cena took it right out of his hands that same night. And I was like, why? Why? But hey, that's all in the past now. We love Cena now because he hasn't won a match like since the year 1900. But
yeah, when he came out and said that he hadn't won a match in that long, I was like, yo, I didn't even think about that. But he's put over a lot of talent.
So yeah, and that's something that you and I need to discuss on a different video. John Cena putting over talent, because I have some things to say about that. But moving on, we already spoke about the main event of Raw that was Sami Zayn and Chad Gables, and we all know how that ended. But now, for the next few minutes, I know you want to talk about AEW.
AEW.
For how was it?
That was awesome, man. Big business is big business.
Yeah, CEO, CEO. You got catchy, huh?
Yup.
Yeah, like I caught I didn't watch all 2 hours of AEW. When AEW I'm on and off. Um I record it and watch it when I have time. This one I caught the first, I will say, 30 to 40 minutes. I saw that he started with Mercedes Monet, Sacha Banks, and she cut her promo, and it seems like the fans are behind her, but usually the fans are behind everybody that is returning. What really you gotta see is that momentum, if they can keep it, and that's to be seen. You on Twitter, people already slamming her because they didn't really help the rating too much, but only time will tell. It's too soon to assume anything. And she came out twice. The crowd loved her. Um, I'm neutral on her. I'm not this huge fan. I don't dislike her either. Uh, I just know she's good. You know, how do you feel?
Yeah. I know that it's considered. There was a time in this modern era that they had the 4 horsemen of women, and she was still part of that time. And I think that she's proved herself in matches with Charlotte Flair and all these other top tier WWE superstars. And she was well liked from what I understand, and I think she was able to really hold down her brand. Um, so whatever reasons why she's not in the WWE anymore, her going to AEW, getting that bag, because I know she got a bag from them, and being able to wrestle in your hometown of Boston in the TD Garden at a real event, that's awesome. And I think only time will tell, like you said, how well the AEW run goes. But as far as a debut, I mean, they gave her a moment. It really couldn't have been bigger. Like, she came out there, she had this awesome like sequin dress, gold, whatever thing on, and then she ripped it off, and everyone's like, "Oh my god!" So, yeah, she went out there looking like a superstar, talked her smack on the mic, and I think it was a really good debut. And then her coming out at the end and being able to scrap with the AEW's top stars. She scrapped with Julia Hart. She scrapped with Sky Blue. Like, that was awesome. Like, they put her right in the mix, threw her in the mix, or threw her in the mix. I'm sorry. And they gave her the spotlight to, enhance that women's division. So, and Willow was able to, shake her hand and raise her hand. So she showed, she's like on her side, good guy, acknowledging the good guy. So I think they did really good with it. But yeah, only time will tell the run. But, she got the money in AEW. She's going to have a name for herself, and people are going to watch it. Who watched WWE are going to watch that because she's a big name just for the sake of it. And yeah, hopefully she can have a good run and make her bag, man. So I don't really have anything weird to say about it. I think it's just she's in her new era there. So hopefully it works out and she runs it. Shout out Mercedes Moné, CEO.
I actually, that last segment, she coming out, that's actually what I like the most about her return. Because right away they told me that she wasn't going to hug the women's title. She was coming for the TBS title. So she's gonna be feuding with Julia Hart. She's not coming already. Oh, I'm gonna win the women's championship. So she's willing to be. She knows that she's a top star, but she also knows that she's not going to come for it right away. And that actually, I like how that's I like how this is starting with her not coming from the top already. Just, hey, let me start here with Julia Hart. Let me start a program with her. And also, I like her finisher. I didn't watch any of her work after she left WWE. So I hadn't seen this finisher. I didn't even see her matches in New Japan or anything like that. So that finisher that she has, much better than what she had before with the bank statement or whatever her finisher was back in WWE. Had you seen her finisher before?
No. So I didn't see what her finisher was before. What was it before?
She had two of them. She had something like it was like a backbreaker, and then she also had a submission one. This one, you saw her this week. She just put this girl on her back, and
Yeah.
she body slammed her, and I'm like, oh, that's actually I like that move.
Oh yeah, that was a dope move this week. Yeah, I didn't know if that was like her same move set that she had in WWE or not.
Nah, not that one. I had never seen that one before, and I watched a lot of her matches. Maybe I forgot because it's been a while, but I don't remember seeing that as her finisher before. So when she did that, I was like, hey, oh, I hadn't seen that. So kudos to her. I'm like, huh, I might actually be a little bit interested in watching her work in AEW. Because to me right now, all these stars come in, they have a huge momentum, and then something happens. Like, look what happened to CM Punk. Comes in, everybody loves him, something happened. Edge came in, I already see people like throwing his name like in the garbage on Twitter. And this girl just got in there yesterday, and Twitter was just throwing her. I'm like, come on, people. She just got there. It's too soon. You gotta let it cook. And it looks like she's gonna be cooking good because she's gonna have a program with Julia Hart.
Yeah, Julia Hart. Yeah, Julia Hart with that. That was cool. That looks like they're gonna have her go back. But I like that they're having her go out for the TBS title first and giving that like the main spotlight. Because Tony Storm's got this feud right now with Deonna Purrazzo. So let them cook for the world title, and then let them all cook. Let Mercedes Moné get in the picture for the TNT title. Yeah, I'm cool with that. Let them cook.
Yeah, if Mercedes Monet really feels that she is like the as popular as she is, that she's this top level main event person, then the title needs her instead of her needing the title, right? So this TBS title, the way that it should be booked is that she's going to elevate it if she wins it. Don't you think?
Yeah, yeah. I think that she probably will definitely get in the title picture right away. They showed it already.
Yeah, she'll get that TBS title. Do you think she'll win it on the first match?
Um, we'll have to see. I mean, I think I think it's definitely possible, but I think yeah, it's only the first time, so we'll really have to wait and see.
Yeah, because I feel if she wins it on the first match, then it makes Julia Hart look like she wasn't legit. So she could win it dirty, but still keep the title.
I don't think they're gonna feud Julia Hart right away though. I think they're gonna throw Willow. It sounds like Willow. Remember Willow called out. I don't know if you saw, but Willow called out Julia Hart last week. Um,
Yeah,
so
the,
they'll probably throw her in first. Mercedes Monet is gonna work her way in, but I like that she like aligned with Willow because now they're gonna probably she could come out and help Willow if they jump her during the whole build up for Willow versus Julia Hart.
yeah, no, yeah. It might first start off like a tag team match, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
Even though she was called out for the title and all of that, but he's probably she. I really think that Mercedes is going to work herself into a TBS title first, um, and then go and probably have a program with Tony Storm, unless she drops the belt. Who knows?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but that was pretty much the highlight of AEW. The beginning and the end. There was a world title match, but
Yeah, we can talk about Wardlow versus Samoa Joe a little bit. That was pretty good. I think Samoa Joe knows how to always build someone up during a match. He made Wardlow, I think, look really good in certain moments. There was a moment where Wardlow gave him, I think, like this power bomb thing, and like Samoa Joe looked out of it, and he like grabbed the ropes and leaned on the ropes and looked like completely out of breath. Like he made Wardlow look really strong, I think. So shout out him doing that. The Undisputed, I wish Wardlow could have his more of him. I hate that all the Undisputed, when they come out, they all have the same theme. Because I just think I think that it's Adam Cole's thing. So it's like, let him come out to that. But all of them now, Roderick Strong and Wardlow and Matt and all them guys, yeah, it's like they come out to the Undisputed song, but it doesn't really hit. You know what I mean? Like, you know how like you hear Roman's theme and it's the bloodline coming out and it really hits? Like, I wish Undisputed really hit. And like they were talking about on Twitter, I know we're talking about AEW, not WWE, but they were talking on Twitter actually a lot in the wrestling community this week about how Jim Johnston was so good at these.
yeah,
And, when a lot of the themes don't really like hit like that, it's not, it's hard to like engage sometimes, I guess, as far as like their character and like who their presence is and all that stuff. So, a lot of these guys in AEW, they can wrestle their ass off and just have these insane matches. So it's rare where you see like the character and the guy and the theme song and the it factor and the mess and the wrestling. So, it's rare you see all those in one. So, yeah, I wish they had a little bit more of a theme for Wardlow and can establish more of him by himself.
my whole thing with that match was: am I supposed to believe that Samoa Joe had any chance, like even 5% chance of losing that title? Like to me, there was not zero. It was zero. So I couldn't see myself being invested into the match. Like I wasn't into it. It was just like I I know the outcome of this match. Like there is no scenario where Samoa Joe loses that title.
Well, yeah, not yet. I mean, the thing is, so Orange Cassidy lost his title to Roderick Strong of the Undisputed Kingdom.
Yeah.
They're trying to build the whole group and have them all be champions and whatnot. The first step was Roderick Strong to take it from Orange Cassidy. He did that. Now they try to do Wardlow, trying to take it from Samoa Joe. But yeah, you would think it would have been more of them all jumping Samoa Joe and all this stuff. But because Samoa Joe has a rival with Swerve ran out because he jumped Swerve last week, so that all makes sense. But yeah, they just didn't really dive into Wardlow, having a chance to really beat him, like you said. We didn't really think he was going to lose.
Yeah, it was just, they threw him in there and here's a match. And let's try to build you up with a world title match. Nah, I don't, at least to me, that's not how it should work. And this is probably topic for a whole video about that and just discussing how some storylines in AEW are questionable. So we'll put a pin on that to come back to it in another video. I think we, but I think we have reached the end of this for today. Uh, we are 3 weeks away from WrestleMania. There is a lot more to talk about in the upcoming weeks. And there are other topics aside from what's actually happening. So we might do another podcast of the same length in 1 week. It's possible.
Fair enough.
Yeah. So I'll see you next time, everybody.
Later, y'all. Shout out Moz. Shout out Christian. Shout out the wrestling community. Everything is hot right now. I'm ready to see wrestling season at its finest.